Being fit on the outside is no guarantee that your body is fit on the inside. Malnutrition will exist whenever consumption of certain essential nutrients falls below minimum levels. These nutrients are needed to regulate the various body processes, especially the immune system. Each nutrient differs in form, purpose, and the amount needed by the body. The ratio and amounts of nutrients necessary for optimum health differs for each individual, since each one of us is biochemically unique. Some of these cancer-fighting elements of plants are called phytochemicals. Phytochemicals play a vital role in every plant and are essential for the plant's survival. When we consume plants, we consume phytochemicals and the inherent benefits they provide. According to scientists, when people don't give themselves an adequate supply of these vital nutrients, they can cause a great deal of harm to the body by impairing its normal function. The consequences of malnutrition are well documented. In addition to the common degenerative diseases linked to nutrition, inadequate diets in expectant mothers can cause children to be born mentally retarded, underdeveloped, or with deformities. Malnourished children can exhibit learning disabilities, hyperactivity, and allergies. In adults, a poor diet can lead to depression, lack of energy, irritability, and of course, degenerative diseases.
A new dimension in terms of health has really been the question of how effective is nutrition in maintaining health. And it appears more and more that adequate nutrition is an essential component in maintaining the health of the body.
If our immune system is functioning properly, we will be able to defend ourselves from all diseases. And we can nourish our immune system to enhance its function, and that is the study of nutritional immunology. The study of nutritional immunology actually will hold the key to our health.
Good nutrition plays an important role on the early end of infectious disease and probably has an impact on maintaining resistance to infectious disease at all levels. So if we're slightly malnourished, then we have a slightly increased likelihood of suffering severe effects from infectious disease. As in malnutrition increases, we become severely limited by that.
Research has shown that eating the so-called right foods isn't enough. All food is not created equal. Nourishment is defined as the transmission of vital elements from one life form to another. When you eat food, such as this carrot, the nutrients it contains are now used by your body to perform its functions. Where did the carrot get its nutrition? From the earth it grew in, of course. But what if the soil did not contain all the elements your body needs? Without these missing elements, your body may have difficulty defending itself from disease. Modern farming methods use chemical fertilizers and pesticides to ensure that crops grow fast and big, but not necessarily to be nutritionally complete. Nutrients that were once found in the soil have now been depleted thanks to 20th century farming practices.
Even if you are eating all of the vegetables and fruits from the supermarkets today, you are not going to get all the nutrients that your immune system needs to function properly, mainly because you are lacking variety. Varieties such as black mushrooms, Ganoderma mushrooms, loofah. Loofah is this type of squash, mulberry, all of those exotic plants, even cactus. Those are plants that is very good for our immune system, but yet it is not available in the grocery stores.
Obviously, then, it's to our advantage to be able to find ways to supplement our nutritional status so that we can, in fact, maintain good resistance toward infectious disease and therefore good health.
Natural foods are much too complex to be replaced by a handful of common synthetic vitamins or mineral supplements, as many people believe. Even a simple food like the cactus contains over 10,000 known chemical substances. And even the most advanced research laboratory will admit that they could never isolate which of these chemicals or combination of chemicals are essential for proper function of the body's immune system, especially since many of these compounds are toxic when isolated. And phytochemicals, so essential to the body's fight against cancer, cannot be synthesized in a laboratory. To some people, it's hard to believe that just one nutrient can really make a difference. In the 18th century, it took 42 years for Dr. James Lind to convince the British Royal Navy that simply adding lemon juice to a sailor's diet would prevent and cure scurvy. And it took another 80 years before ascorbic acid was isolated as the responsible nutrient. Today, like Dr. Lind 250 years ago, nutritional immunologists are faced with a similar task: to convince others that even though all the details may not be now known, it is clear that the body's immune system requires certain naturally occurring compounds to effectively prevent and cure disease. Only recently has modern science discovered new ways to enhance immunity, not through miracle cures, but by simply better understanding how the food we eat affects our health on a microscopic level. The body's immune system can do what no drug could ever do: defend itself with no risk of toxic side effects.
Take vaccinations, for example. Few people realize that when you get a polio vaccination, the polio virus is being purposely injected into your body. Fortunately, the virus is already dead, so it cannot multiply. But the presence of the virus inside the body stimulates the immune system to produce killer cells or antibodies, especially designed to attack and kill live polioviruses when they inevitably enter the body. A properly nourished immune system would have no trouble responding fast enough to defeat the polio virus, even without a vaccination. But this inoculation gives a poorly nourished body the head start it needs to win the battle, something no drug could ever do. Either way, the vaccination itself has done nothing to prevent the spread of the disease. It's the tremendous power of the human immune system that actually defeats the invader. The philosophy of nutritional immunology is simple. A well-nourished body is more resistant to disease and is better able to heal itself than one which is not properly nourished.
So how do you solve this dilemma? Your body needs proper nourishment to stay healthy, but the food you eat is inadequate. The answer is both simple and time-tested. Wholesome, organically grown plants carefully formulated by a qualified nutritional immunologist can provide vital nutrients to enhance and build the immune system.
We're talking about adaptogenic, normalizing, non-toxic, broad-spectrum compounds, gentle on the system. We're talking about compounds that are going to bring about cellular homeostasis within the body.
Recently, there's been a tremendous surge of interest in plants as sources of vital nutrition. Research on their medicinal and nutritional properties is at an all-time high. Diets high in healthy plants have been proven to result in lower incidence of heart disease, obesity, high blood pressure, and practically every form of cancer. Plant foods are the most natural sources of nutrition available on Earth. Not only are the phytochemicals, vitamins, minerals, fiber, and energy-giving substances contained in plants important, they also have proven to have a profound effect on the immune system. But unlike drugs, with their toxic side effects and nearly instantaneous ability to suppress the symptoms of disease, plants contain critical nutrients that give the body the raw materials it needs to heal and maintain itself. It's clear that proper nutrition in today's society requires much more than just eating a balanced diet. Nutritional immunology has shown that many essential elements simply don't exist in our everyday food. Enhancing the immune system requires a wide variety of different species of plants, plants that can't be found in a local supermarket. And selecting the right plants is important too, since many natural plants are not good for the body.
There are many things we could think of in our daily contact which we know would not be useful to us if we were to eat or to take into our body in any form. So natural products have their limitations as well as their place in our health menu.
Take cocaine, for example. Cocaine is a natural plant, but it is certainly not a healthy plant. You cannot expect to take cocaine on a daily basis and stay healthy.
Supplementing a wholesome diet with whole plant foods that have been developed to enhance the immune system is a logical solution to protecting yourself against disease. These foods should be researched and developed by an immunologist with an expert knowledge of nutrition.
An immunologist is a person who studies immunology, that is the study of the immune system, Immunologists are trained at a number of American universities. Immunologists are generally individuals who work at the doctoral level. Most immunologists are vitally concerned about maintaining adequate health and how the immune system functions in that process.
The research of nutritional immunology is very complicated. But to say it simply, first of all, we will research into which type of plant is good for our immune system. There are millions and millions of plants on this earth, but yet we're consuming less than 1% of the edible plantation on this earth. Therefore, we go and research on each individual plant or herb or vegetation that is good for our immune system to see which one has a higher phytochemical content than the others. Take, for example, an orange compared to a cactus plant. The cactus plant will contain much more phytochemicals than the orange. In other words, it means the cactus plant is better for our immune system compared to the orange. Then in the second stage, we will research into when to harvest a particular plant. Take ginseng, for example. A ginseng has to be grown for at least 8 years in order to be effective. If you harvest a ginseng when it is only 2 years old, it is not good for our immune system at all. Then the third stage, we will research into which part of the plant is very good for our immune system. Take a loofah, for example, a squash. The loofah fruit is good for our immune system, but the very best part of the loofah is when you cut the stem apart. It will give you about 1 or 2 bottles of juice. That juice, if you freeze dry it, that juice is the very best thing for your immune system. And then last of all is the processing. Take soy, for example. Soy is very good for our immune system, but you cannot eat the skin of the soy, and you cannot eat it raw, because soy raw, it is toxic. But if you overheat it, then you're going to destroy all of the enzymes inside. And therefore, we have to determine the degree of heat that is necessary for a particular plant. So simply said, that comprises the study of nutritional immunology.
It is essential that effective herbal formulations be developed by an immunologist. But only recently has modern technology permitted researchers to develop unique combinations of plant foods that can boost the immune system like no ordinary fruit or vegetable. These combinations should be organically grown, harvested at the optimum time, and utilize the essential parts of the plant. Processing should be carefully designed so as not to destroy the active constituents or contaminate the formula.
Just remember the old adage, you are what you eat and you won't go wrong. By eating foods that nourish and strengthen the body, you'll be able to better defend yourself against illness. Whether or not mainstream medical research ever gives up their search for the perfect drug to combat degenerative diseases doesn't really matter to those of us who've already found the answer. It's up to each one of us individually to be responsible for our own health and well-being. The new science of nutritional immunology has proven that eating foods rich in essential nutrients may be the key to living a long and